Watch out for trouble.
Oh, there you are, dashing troublemaker you. Our short acquaintance is coming to an end. Very soon you will depart on your crusade, where you'll scrape by on horrible rations, struggle kneeling to fall asleep. Amidst snoring soldiers will be rudely awakened by the frozen ground, and have to look upon the dour faces of self-righteous prigs before you finally perish in the Moslem demon. I have a journey ahead of me too. I just finished my sailboat south. I also hired an excellent ship and host other entertainers. Well, to each their own, I suppose. You know, I am genuinely sad to see you go. This sounds like mockery, forgive me. I cannot switch off my venom gland on a whimsy seat, but you intrigue me. If only we could have spent a little more time together, but of course. Not under these circumstances, let the Crusaders and demons have at each other. I mean, look, they'll take this entire sanctimonious spectacle down with them. You know, we'd like if you to stay. You intrigue me too. Alas, life is full of disappointment. I must reject your offer. In any case, intend to wait until my army departs to do love good send-ups. Each one is I who is staying, and someone else who is heading off to meet a dreary and hopeless end. Sometimes it does one good to ruminate on the unfairness of life. Well, then, farewell, Commander. I assume I shall be your most precious memory of this most disgusting and exhausting road to pointless slaughter of battle. Or if not, precious memory, then at least the most stirring. Damn.
Keep your calm. There are many roads to success. I will guide.
Now that's all done with. Good afternoon, your Commanderness. Do you remember us? We're the crew from the next door theater company that you once, when you saved the commanders back when you weren't commanders yet. As you can see, we've come on the campaign with you. We signed up to clean pots and mend the soldiers' clothes. Keeping up the theater is expensive, so we all have to take side jobs. But we don't stop what we're doing. We're going to put a play on that legendary beats. We caught pigs and piglets who ran away from our burned village. We put the piglets in a box and scared them a little, and the sound they make is just like a Persian demon horde. But the most important question is, of course, choosing the lead actor who played the great commander. We had to write Barney over it, break a number of lances, as well as a shovel, a rolling pin, and a set of back scratchers. But we just couldn't decide no matter what. Maybe you can help us. We have two candidates that are most suited to the role. One will have the honor of conveying your heroism upon this stage, Commander. Don't you have any other actors who vaguely resemble me? We're small and poorly funded theater, and we only have a few actors, but they're all talented and kind. I've chosen ones that are the best fit for your role. Trust my vision. I have more than 6 of those plays on my belt. A Cyclops actor? Sure. A gnome? Wonder, sorry we took you away from the important things Commander heroes commanders do. We're all off to rehearsal. I mean, first we will wash some pots and throw up rehearsal. Let's go, ladies. Lumps don't embarrass old grandma now. Oh, God. Are you kidding me? So picture this, my sword's by the fire, there's 2 goblins about to snatch it, and 3 more are digging through the tent. And I'm sat in the bushes, wearing just my mail shirt, wondering what the blast to do. An old mercenary taught me about the mail shirt. You can't sleep in armor, but it's not so bad in mail, so once you get used to it, too bad no one told me not to get into the bushes without my sword. So what'd you do? What did I do? I barked like crazy. Goblins were bigger dogs, so they all went wild and started running around and spot my sword, and they would spot me. So I jumped over the fire, wearing nothing but my mail shirt. I grabbed my sword and I yelled in my big voice, "Oh, and here, grant me the power to crush these filthy creatures." My sword shined, the goblins were screaming. I jumped to attack them and fight back, but I fought them all somehow. But ever since then, I never take a step without my weapon. That's some story. Hey, stop gulping. Leave from somewhere else. We're only just set up and you're already drinking, and with the queen in the camp, stop this at once. Right you are, Commander. Terribly, we are but drinking to the queen's health. Sheila. I'll remind you, Paladin, that you are an army, not a band of mercenaries. Social superiors discipline. Too much fun at camp can turn lost on the battlefield. With all due respect, Commander Terribly, I know I answered that, Commander, not to you. The fact that we're fighting together doesn't give you the right to discipline me like a sergeant disciplines a recruit.
Focus on the goal.
Field medic? Let's go. Really?
Watch out for trouble.
Faerun ray. Who's that? Alter Amade. Rastil.
Keep your calm.
I'm trying to get my bearings.
There are many roads to success.
Where's the fucking... I can't tell what's what. No, it's like ridiculous. Damn it.
Focus on the goal.
Alright, let's go to the commander's tent. Crying out loud. Alright. Really? Suzale, who the heck is that?
Commander, I'm satisfied with the troop review, but I do not expect they will be sufficient for the task. You will have to prove yourself a shrewd leader and hire the necessary troops with the provided funds. I have chosen a target for your campaign, and that target is Dresden, our lost outpost within the World Wound. The Sword of Valor was kept there, a banner that was once carried by Iomade herself. Our greatest relic was lost when the city fell. I should make one thing clear from the start. The Sword of Valor is no mere symbol, but a powerful weapon against demons. The holiness of the banner weakens them and robs them of one of their most dangerous abilities, teleportation. A forced march to Dresden awaits you. The Sword of Valor is kept somewhere within the Citadel. The demons probably think it's a hunting trophy. Its recovery is just as important as retaking the city itself. I hope the task is clear. I'm sending 2 specialists to help you, along with the soldiers. A historian, Nura Denduar, and a cleric, Soziel Bainik. One of the famous inquisitors of the Church of Iomade also wants to talk to you. The Honorable Leota, whom everyone calls Hawkblade.
I do not wish to keep you, Commander. The matter I must discuss with you is extremely important, but it is not directly related to the Crusade. You no doubt wish to meet your new comrades and speak with Her Majesty. Therefore, I shall leave you now, but I ask that you seek me out in the camp at your earliest convenience.
Hi! Listen, it's amazing here. It's like I'm in a ballad. There's knights in shining armor, deadly dangers, glorious feats. We are going to show those demons! I'm so tired of sitting in a library reading books about history. It's time I took part in it!
I'm glad to help our cause, Commander. If you have some time later, I'd like to speak with you further.
You'll have plenty of time to talk. You're the Knight Commander's people now, his trusted advisors and companions. Now then, will you please leave us? Irabeth, you can go too.
We met at Dementor's Heart. I never imagined you made me commander of the new crusade.
Some actions may be deemed bold, or even extreme. And beyond those, there are some you might call the Queen's last resort. I am not a simple monarch. I am at war with the Abyss, a war which has lasted over 100 years. I cannot allow myself the luxury of caution. In you, I see a chance, and I am willing to stake everything on it. However, you cannot blame me for putting you in charge of the crusade. I only formalized what had already happened in the hearts and minds of many. People spoke of the power that descended upon you and helped you save the Wardstones from corruption and total destruction. Word of this feat quickly spread far beyond the borders of Mendev. There was no other person who could better fit the role of Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade.
Did you know that the souls of angels from heaven are combined in the Wardstone?
I had guessed as much. Many angels fought alongside us in the First Crusade. Heaven was unable to mobilize its full might to aid us, but individual celestials volunteered to fight for our cause. Then one day, they all vanished, saying that they were setting off on an important mission. Not long after, Iomade's herald erected the first Wardstone in Kenobris, and then the others in cities across Mendev. Even back then, I had nagging doubts, but my faith in Iomade easily assuaged them. It is for us to serve the goddess after all, not to question her works. Nevertheless, I am pleased that you solved the mystery of the Wardstone in Kenobris, and were able to save this gift of Iomade. It was a deed worthy of a Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade.
Ishanel received an unusual gift in the cave beneath Canabras. In a vision, I saw the different angel Lariel. Somehow he was able to grant me the ability to reveal the light of heaven.
Lariel. I knew him. He disappeared shortly before the world wound grew, and Dresden fell into the enemy's hands. In the chaos, We had more important concerns than investigating the fate of a single angel, even one so righteous and beloved as Lariel. And afterward, matters took a turn for the worse. The angels left us to go on this special mission. It is so strange to hear the names I used to hear when I was young, like getting a message from the past. It is sad news, but it brings me back to the times when we strongly believed in our victory, and we rushed headlong toward it without fear. Could it be that such times have come again?
And what are you going to do?
Overlooking a spot of insubordination just at the moment. However, I shall answer you. I shall prepare the defenses at Nerosian and all the other border cities and plan the future of the Fifth Crusade. Does that satisfy your curiosity, Knight Commander?
My queen, I'd ask you to remain with us. The Dresden campaign is the hope of the crusade, and the blessing of Amadei you can carry may be decisive in battle.
I hear? A polite attempt to appeal to the conscience of an old sovereign? I don't know if you realize what you're suggesting. If our enemies in the depths of the wound were to discover that I was with your army, they would immediately send their most vicious demons to attack. They would stop at nothing to be rid of me, and thereby sow chaos across Mendev. But you are right. I shouldn't be sitting it out in the rear. I am a warrior queen, and a queen of warriors. Yet my fighters have forgotten what I look like. Fine. I shall join the crusade, but on my own terms. First, I shall assemble my entourage and lead the parade out of the camp. I shall catch up with you later, along with a few hand-picked bodyguards. We'll change our armor, and I'll become a knight of a minor order and join the troops incognito. Until we approach Dresden, no one should know I am among you. But before we storm the city, I shall show myself to the troops and join the battle. Let it be a surprise for the demons. I hope you won't complain of my company on the road, Commander, since you were the one who insisted upon it. Do you have any other questions?
I have some questions about my mission to retake Dresden.
Of course. I shall answer.
How did the demons manage to conquer Dresden?
That's a good question. Its walls were built by dwarf craftsmen, and the power of the Sword of Valor protected the city. Alas, where raging hordes failed, a single lying tongue was all they needed to succeed. The demoness Minago convinced a young and ambitious crusader named Staunton Vane that the banner belonged on the battlefield. He went on a daring and unapproved raid, and the banner ended up in the enemy's hands. The city fell soon after. Ever since then, for 7 decades, it has served as a citadel for the forces of the Abyss.
Staunton Vane, I saw him at the Great Garrison. He defected to the demon side.
Oh, really? I wasn't informed of this. After Dresden fell because of Staunton, he was nearly sentenced to death. He deserved it. In wartime, men are hanged for far less. But you have no idea what a terrible sight it is. A raging crowd of crusaders baying for blood. Never have my fighters looked so much like the demons we are fighting. I commuted Staunton's sentence and stripped him of his rank. Not just for him, but for my army and my country. We are not Hell Knights. We do not maintain discipline with public executions.
It was a tough choice, I understand.
Thank you for your support. The longer you live, the more things you do, and the more criticism you endure. Today, many blame me for all manner of reasons, and few try to understand my actions. Your words warm my soul.
What forces are at my disposal?
Everyone we saw today at the parade. First among them, the Eagle Watch, who remain a powerful force thanks to Irabeth's resourcefulness. Also marching with you are several minor knightly orders, as the minor volunteer units like to be called. And finally, I have personally selected some recruits from Nerosian. They have little in the way of battle experience, but great determination and a thirst to prove themselves. I've always thought that an army benefits from at least one such unit. These forces, as I said, are not enough for a march on Dresden. You will have to hire additional troops with the funds that have been provided to you. But for a brave commander, and I hope you are one, that is just the beginning. If you retake Dresden, recover the holy power of the Sword of Valor, and gain a foothold in the region, then new armies will join under your banner. The Fifth Crusade is only beginning. Many battles and victories lie ahead.
It's been decades no one's managed to retake the city. Why do you think we're different?
We have a chance now that we haven't seen in decades. But it's more than that. You created this chance for us by foiling the demon's plans in Canabris. The army who attacked the city came straight from Dresden. Demon hordes from the Abyss are usually encamped there, but many of them perished on the streets of Canabris. We must attack swiftly before they can restore their forces. When the city is free and the Sword of Valor appears before our soldiers, they won't be sending in any more reinforcements. Demons cannot teleport into an area protected by the banner of the goddess.
What about long-term goals? Do you know how to get rid of the world wound forever?
Now you are talking like a real knight commander. However, answering your question is not easy. To win this war, we must bar the demon's way. There are a few planar rifts leading to the Abyss across the territory we call the World Wound. The best specialists we could find have tried to close them on separate occasions, with no success, as you may have guessed. The World Wound is more than just a chain of portals to the Abyss. We do not understand its nature yet. The methods of rift closure known to magical science simply do not work here. However, we have a hypothesis, and a rather well-grounded one, that we must begin at the source of the problem, the place where the World Wound was opened. The main rift lies through the city of Iz and the Threshold Fortress, deep in the former lands of Socorus. We have never managed to fight our way so far and gain a foothold to allow the mages to explore the origins of the World Wound. So, the next step, after you succeed in Dresden, is an offensive push deeper into the World Wound, with the aim of reaching Threshold, the very threshold of the Abyss.
No more.
Wonderful.
Task is clear.
Splendid. Ah, yes. We have one final matter to attend to. It should be rather enjoyable.
Oh boy.
Count, there you are. You received my instruction?
I did, though I did not have time to read the thing before I was dragged before your majesty. In truth, I was readying myself to depart.
No matter. I trust you will forgive your sovereign for the rather brusque summons, especially when you learn what prompted it. As you are aware, he has recently been appointed my Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade. I spent a long while pondering whom to appoint to the highly sensitive post of Commander's Field Attaché and Advisor Plenipotentiary without portfolio. Congratulations, Count.
It is a great honor, I suppose.
That's a great idea.
I knew you would approve, Commander. I had my doubts about whether you were ready for such a responsibility, Count, but your conduct in Canabris has put my mind at ease. So, you will travel with the troops to Dresden. Only the commander may remove you from your post. But I trust that you will dutifully fulfill his orders and make a good showing of yourself. Especially since word of your appointment, Count, will reach the court at any moment. All of Mendev's nobility will be following your successes in service to the nation, including all of your devoted admirers. I even heard that one bard with whom you are particularly friendly has already begun composing a ballad to honor your heroic participation in the crusade and your faithful service to the commander here.
Your largesse truly knows no bounds, dear cousin. I am most gratified by the honor you have shown me.
Then let's get going. May Iyomade help us.
Alright, let's do that, but I've got to see what's going on here. So tell me straight, how that brought the Great Garrison in? And I heard the rumors, of course, it's kind of my job, you know, to listen. You have no idea what cobblers crusaders say about you. Some say that Emade came to you and appointed you her herald. Others say that you died and honest to God's angels now leading an army disguises you. Still others say it was just an explosion in an alchemist's lab and no one spreading rumors about powers. I wish. But you know, you really have changed since Great Garrison. It's hard to describe. You've become more dangerous. I have a gut instinct about these things, but I didn't know. I'd already be dead. You're dangerous, Commander, and by this now I hope you be dangerous to our enemies, not to us. Only to yourself. Alright, you watch yourself now. Okay, I will then. No, I'm not resting right now. I wish you could change this. This is what. Alright, let's go there since, well, she's up first.
Watch out for trouble.
Commander, let me say something. Before you, this wasn't a war, sagging, drawn out over decades. No one believed in victory anymore. When the demons attacked the city, parts for some it was relieved. At least they didn't come. They laid down their weapons and surrendered without a fight. I felt the same thing, but somehow I got through on stubbornness and the vague hopes that nobody found in Olivia's body. She might be some miracle to have survived. And that miracle is you. Return my beloved to me when I nearly lost all hope of seeing her alive again. Then you went on a suicide mission to Grey Mountains to win the city back for you. Us. You turned defeat into victory. I know it wasn't easy, but you make everything seem so effortless. You do everything just like that. The Queen believes in your powers too, but for me, there's just more proof of what I felt the day when I saw Nubia alive, standing next to you. You're the miracle we've been waiting for. You're the one who finally put an end to this terrible war, and in spite of everything, deliver us the victory we so desperately need. And with you, I'm sure the Crusade will achieve what the others could not. So it turns out the Queen has her head of counterintelligence watching me. I wonder why. You'd think the Queen doesn't trust you. If that were true, she wouldn't have put you in charge of the army. My main task is to be your advisor until you have gained enough experience as commander. As for counterintelligence, and even we're tasked with keeping an eye on you. You're in a circle, but you're not under suspicion, Commander. You're under our protection. we need reinforcements. Can you get us some more soldiers? When we began the march on Dresden, we chose speed over numbers. If I order more volunteers to recruit, the Senate won't arrive in time. We could pay mages to deliver the troops to the camp, except I doubt the army's coffers can afford it. If you can spare 7 of that, I will see to it. It's hard to believe your origin is so humble. You deserve the noble title more than many who inherit them. Thank you, Commander. It's an honor to hear that, especially from you. Every noble family begins somewhere. You must have heard the recent story from the Stonelands. The kingdoms. Just imagine coming from nowhere and making all the way to the royal crown in just a few years. Sometimes I wonder what would happen if I managed to distinguish myself somehow, but then I push away such unworthy selfish thoughts of courage. Of course, we don't fight for rewards. The fate of the world is at stake, and yet, I found a scabbard with your family name on it at the Great Garrison. This scabbard held the solemn hour. My family's sword. My father once fought with it, and I took it when I left home to become a paladin. Alas, it was not stolen. I parted with my heirloom willingly to help someone dear to me. Anivia needed expensive healing, and having no way to procure the money upon my father's sword, I think he would have understood. I'm sure he would have given up everything to help family. I hoped to redeem the solemn hours eventually, but there's never enough money, and soon their swords disappeared from the pawn shop altogether. I had no idea who took it. Seems like I have to part my father's sword once. Seems like I'll have to part with my father's sword forever. Isn't Navia sick? Lawyers forgive me if I don't go into details, private matters. So I should say everything's fine. The treatment was costly, but it was worth it. I can see that you truly love her. My parents were loyal servants, yet it wasn't enough to earn them a title or coat of arms. Still, however humble or knight name might be, it was worth something. I don't know if I'll ever see this solemn hour again, but at least I have this scrap back. Thank you. I have to go. Alright, hold on. Deep in a hole. Alright. Airbus, what's this thing doing in our camp? It's under my supervision since the day we were blessed with this shiny chatterbox, made shale and bright and bid by this day. There has been 16 attempted thefts, 2 by those I trust with protecting it. You think we should have left it in a ravaged city so smart Alec could chop it up? No, it's not on the property of the Crusaders, which means I'm getting to stand guard over it. Even though I have to keep this beautiful thing out, beautiful open in the command tent. Happy to be of service and make shale and bright and vivify your day. How are you handling your abilities? Abilities, what are you talking about? Oh, the tricks you learned from the big gray house blew up when the group. They're funny. Thanks for teaching them to me. The Queen gave me the title Knight Commander and put me in charge of an army. What do you think about that? Don't believe in titles. All of us in the world are children of the street, barefoot, hungry, scared, a step away from death. Some imagine they're strong and rich, like God, but don't forget who you really are behind the title. So go. Okay, well,
Keep your calm.
Oh boy, there you are. Very good. Just in time. You'll be delightful to know that I need you for an experiment. So the great garrison stands, ruthless demons running from the hills with their tails between their legs. Mindev's queen. What's her name? It's on the tip of my tongue. Oh yes, Gulpri is stirring to and fro, and all this somehow connected to you, my loyal follower. Thus far, there is no scientific evidence of your exceptionality. If one discounts blind faith in divine intervention, which I do. We people of science refuse to believe in the inexplicable without any proof. We're the ones who explain the inexplicable, and therefore open your mouth and say, ah. Ah. Alright, your throat's fine, tongue looks perfectly normal, your breath, skull is in line with the regular function of this digestive system, not for your teeth. No detectable alterations. By the way, did you know many individuals, while being wholly civilized, representative of the race, still have an amazingly powerful bite? Are you really trying to find correlation between fang length and civility? For the good of science, I look for correlation everywhere and in everything. How can you prove there's no correlation if you don't bother to look for one? Moving on, what do we have next? Ears, let's check your hearing. That testing? Your hearing's fine, was fine, but don't worry, it's scientifically proven that it should return back to normal soon. Next, eyes are clear, posture is satisfactory, limb length is standard, no lice. Boy, you are the picture of health. It's a pity I was expecting to find some anomaly. I'll not let this assess your mental state. Imagine a hypothetical situation. You are a tree, 2 squirrels found their way into your hollow, now you're copulating there. What do you do? I do precisely nothing because I'm a tree. Now unconscious to act to withdraw from with a lack of trust in your abilities, or perhaps just a healthy dose of pragmatism. On the next question, find another hypothetical situation. You are a tomato. You have been just picked from the butcher patch and put into a crate. You know that today the cook will use half the tomatoes from your crate to make soup. What do you do? I tried to dig deeper in the I'm going to be eaten. Then there's that much I can do. That's the fate of a tomato. A conscious act of spinning to unspoken rules and laws, underpinning the function of yours. Yes, it is all quite clear to me. Unstinting adherence to law, complete and versus everything else. Your manner of judgment almost reminds me of Aeon. Perhaps you are somewhat related to that race. On that note, I deem this experiment complete. Thank you for your participation. Yet you remain a puzzle to me. I love puzzles. One of these days, I will solve you completely unless I forget. Now I have time to answer more questions. Come on, ask away. Goodbye. So you're the war chief now. You're going to lead to free Sir Curus from the spade. I felt the moment I saw you. This one is special, but what? You go and get yourself a whole army in no time. That I did not expect. Well, how does your newfound power feel? Has it gone to your head yet? We're going to fight demons, not fae. Fae, demons, angels, they're all the same spooks. They could have stayed in the magic forest, happy to use the pig in the mud. But no, they had to put their flying heads into a mortal world. Hold on, don't change the subject. What do you think about being war chief? It's an odd feeling. So many people are counting me. I can't let them down. Yeah, it's a scary thing to be responsible for others. Just when you're not out picking mushrooms, you're taking them to war. Even if you win, some of them surely won't make it back home. You're the one who has to bear the burden. But I know you duels just fine, and not because I've seen you in battle, although you're worth a whole band of warriors in fight. I know you'll make it a flying war chief because you're not thinking about power or honor. You're concerned about people in your charge. As long as you hold on to that, you have nothing to fear. Well, I didn't come here just to fight my guns. Since I'm going to war and you're in charge, I better do this the right way. My blade and my life are yours, War Chief. I mean, it's not like I need a blade. My talents will be equal to the trick. But saying it, it's like that is the done thing. My talents will be yours. Just don't have the ring to it. There's something else. I can already see things are bad, but tales of also course bring down the people dying out. I'm sorry, I don't believe those. It can't be true. I'm not kind of folks to be snuffed out just like that. I have kin and village not far from here. Current Glen. Let's go there and talk to them. Let's build men. They're smart folks. Perhaps they'll help us in battle. Together we'll cleanse the cores. You can say, all right, G. Foul creatures. All right. I will go prepare for the road ahead. Take care, War Chief.
Hello. So, what do you reckon about everything that's come crashing down on us? All the responsibility, command, this new power?
I haven't figured it out yet. We'll see what happens next.
Watching and waiting is a good strategy. Probably. I'm still frightened by what happened in the Grey Garrison. Were we really chosen? By Iomade herself? You know, back when I was a snot-nosed kid who just started down the path to becoming a paladin, I imagined once or twice that I was going to do something heroic. The lights would shine down on me, the trumpets would sing, I'd hear the voice of the goddess, or at least her herald, you know? I'd be informed that I had been chosen for a great cause. But that's the point where my imagination always failed me. somehow, it really happened. Without all the trumpets or the herald or even anyone explaining what I had to do. Though it's clear as day, my place is here, in this demon-ridden wound. Quite a lovely war going on, in fact. Endless, I hear. I'm gonna need some time to wrap my head around this. Spare me an hour and I'll crawl into some dark corner and whine about my hard lot. What can I tell you? I cry easily.
Okay. Insufferable. People said you're gently trying Queen Golfer's patient. Is that true? Does it even matter? All Medivian in high society is their ward on me. They either despise me or trying to steer me back into the right path, and I'm doing everything in my power to keep them on their toes. I relish the prospect of all upon this mess and Canaveras will bring. I shall either commission a song about the great Canaveras fiasco from a certain talented bard or confuse the jewelers with a rather tall order. A batch of silver dragon toys with the detachable his. Give me a week and I'll be in every shop in the capital. The heroic dragon who died for future disrespect, not your mockery. She's dead. She doesn't really care, and she'll enjoy 3 or 4 minutes of rather pleasant thought about the rage of the sanctimonious fools who pest me the most. So how do you like your new role, advisor? You also enjoy poking me with that stick, don't you? Imagine it, me, a crusader. If my dearest cousin hoped to teach me lessons, she managed it perfectly. An assignment I couldn't avoid without losing face. This idiotic journey will lead you straight into the demon's maws. I could have been on a pleasure boat right now with a lovely songstress and tacks on my arm, and a bottle of finest coming in wine to keep us company. Incidentally, I blame you for all this. Well, actually, I thank Cousin Godfrey's blame for everything that's happened to me. I suppose the misdeeds could be considered my own fault, but I hardly expected to take responsibility for Canac. Certainly not. Therefore, I shall lay all the blame at your door and plot my revenge. Did you also retrieve a fraction of that unusual power? Looks like it. I genuinely hope that getting away from you would be the end of it. If your gift truly does come from Emily, then give me a smidgen of that power was a very subtle joke on our part. Yeah. Their blind lightbreaker, and Medev could even have a sense of humor. Don't get me started on the many acts of sacrilege against her. That scene engraving the truth about the test of the Starstone is the lamest one by far.
Focus on the goal.
Well met, Commander, you caused me quite a stir. Everyone thought Canaveras was done for, but the gods have other plans. It's quite a blaze with the great garrison. All the vermin running out with their tails between their legs. Who are you? Sally Rathmius, former director of the Canaveras Temple of Avadar, and now your humble servant in all times like this. One cannot serve the good of cities while sitting comfortably behind a city wall. You pursue a secret cause and I'll help you in any way I can. I await your orders, Commander. Based on more to Dresden. How'd you wind up in the battlefield? Everyone has a little story like that, but mine is a rather boring one. Believe it or not, it's bureaucracy. When the old rector of the Kenris Temple died, may Abra rest his soul, the church required replacement. I volunteered to serve for 30 years without incident. I prayed, organized festivals and funerals, bought candles, wanted to provide water, boring mundane things that make up the daily routine of civilized life. Society. But then civilized society failed, and it was time for me to get a reward. Praise Abrar, who led me through the ruins to the Defender's heart. Who is that boy with you? This one? Coyote, the shepherd. My apprentice, smart boy, and his faith is strong. He serves Rastal, though, but there's something you can learn from an old from Abrar. He's a great cleric when he gets a little older. What kind of help can I expect from you? First, you need a scroll to one scroll. I have a lot of them. Some for emergency. Second, while you're at camp, I can read the scroll for you, guarantee no surprises. And if you better not leave camp without a cleric, I was going with you, so you need someone who can read scrolls. Wow. That's actually pretty good. Cannot be flanked. That's actually pretty good. I don't like that. All right. What weapons can he use? A glaive? He's a cleric? What's his deity? Her weapon's a glaive. Okay. Inventory. Back to this. I think, but a glaive? No, that's not going to work, bro. A cold iron masterwork, like, yeah, I work real good for you. I gotta take time to do this. I've got to get all this figured out before I go out in the field. So here we are. Hold up. That's better because +2? What about Homegirl? I hate to say it, but she could probably use it. What's full plate? He can use a heavy shield, and he can use full plate. Wow. Ain't much going around there. Really? It's just a heavy crossbow is just better. He does need a melee weapon though. I don't know yet. Really? Son of a bitch. Can you not use a shield? He's an oracle. He uses divine stuff. It's not going to get in a problem in a way. He uses all divine magic because he's an oracle. I'm sure of it. He has divine magic, so he can use armor. How many potions do I have? 5, and that's it. Criminy Christ, man. I'll have to take care of that later. There's not much more I can do for him. Her? I might want to switch it out. Composite longbow. Her dex is not bad. She definitely... I think we can find a better mace, though. I'll have to wonder about that because... just in case. Actually, that's a lot better. She can't wear armor. She's really out in the dust right now. She can't wear those, but she's got a better buckler, armor, weapons. I didn't see it, but she's kind of set. Yeah, her. Just makes more sense. She can't wear armor either. He's using a big old fat club. He's a druid, though. Armor? I hate to say it, but Social would be better than he would be with these stuff here. I hate to say it. I'll let him have that stuff, though. He's got entrapping longbow. Spear. Where's that spear at? Where'd it go? I know there's a better spear. I had it. Let's see what she has. She's probably got about some of the best stuff, really, frankly. But who had that spear? Spear, please. Really, I could swear. How did I miss that? That's where. Do I have that? No, I need one. Fucking son of a bitch. Pain in the ass. Alright, check the people inventory for spear. No. Inventory. I don't have any more heavy crossbows. I'll need something later on. I could swear I had something better for him. I have to go to Commander's tent. Where's that at? Try that. Icebreaker. Not the only way I'm going to get around it. Alright, so now I gotta go through this again. No. So there isn't anything better, really. Not for him, anyway. How about armor? No, he's set. Well, there is that, yes. Unbending armor. I'll try that. That's actually better for him. That's actually better. It's actually not too bad, really, considering. A weapon now. He can't use the long sword. Wow. I have to see on that armor. He actually looks good in that. You. That armor check penalty is pretty huge, actually. Weapons. That's actually better for her. She can't do shit either. She can't use a kukri or a longbow. I can't use the armor either. I don't know. I think she's better off with it than he is. Female +1? Wow. Okay then, weapons. Well, no, I'm not gonna give him a... Can he use the shield? Yeah, he can. I prefer to give him... Can he... He can't use shit either. needs to be better protected, though. He's going to be in melee a lot. Unless he's in shape form. How did that not help? How did this not help? That's really, really strange. That lowers the armor class? How do you figure? That's just really strange, man. What is this thing? Yeah, I'll take it for him. He can't use shit. +2 though, so let's go ahead. 12, 12, 7. Yeah, see, that's better. I don't care how you look at it. DC is not going to really make a difference. Or, do I want to use it? Yes, I do. She's actually pretty good at what she has, though. Where's Homegirl at? That's not very good. Where is this? DC 16? I actually kind of like that better. That's in case you need something there, but... Long sword of right. She needs the armor, I think, really. I think it would suit her better. Yeah, I know, it's been a while, but still. I think they're kind of set. I'll put some more stuff back in here, though, in case I might want it. Is that Marshall? That's actually really good, man. No, damn it. I'm gonna put these in there for now. Probably, I'm gonna sell these, I think.
Watch out for trouble.
Cause I really need the money. Sure. Books. I'm gonna sell books. I should have a boatload of books, man. Now I can go on about my way here. All right. So I want here cereal.
Hello again. I'm very pleased to meet you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. It's a pity I wasn't there at the Grey Garrison to witness your feats of strength with my own eyes. The flash, however, could be seen miles and miles away. Some people were frightened of it, thinking that the demons had blown up the remains of the keep. I, for one, knew immediately that it was a good sign. The light above the city showed us that there was still hope.
Who are you, and how can you possibly have use to my army?
My name is Sozio Vanek. I am a cleric of Shaylin, the Eternal Rose and the Goddess of Beauty. Yes, I know that many people would consider me useless in a war. This is not a usual war, though. Just consider our enemy. The Abyss and his demons are the very embodiment of everything evil and ugly in the world. Perhaps a disciple of kindness and beauty might come in handy. I have no doubt that we will win this war, Commander. We just have to. It is our destiny. My role is to help you, and all those standing by your side in this struggle, to survive and flourish. Everyone deserves the chance to find peace and happiness in the world that they are defending so selflessly.
What are you painting?
My brothers and sisters in faith. They sent me for help, and then they saved my life, Commander. If the Prioress hadn't ordered me to escape the city and seek help, I would have died right along with them. Instead, I met Queen Galfrey on my way to Nerosian, and hurriedly returned to Canabris, only to find my friends dead on the steps of our desecrated temple.
I want to draw them the way they live on in my memory. Wise, beautiful, and loyal to their goddess and their city to the very end.
Sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I will never forget that I owe them my life. Every minute of it, every breath that I take, is a gift they gave me. Now it's my duty to make sure my friends and tutors did not die in vain. I will honor their sacrifice by making this world a bit more beautiful and kind.
What made an artist enlist in the army?
Perhaps I am a true artist, or simply an amateur who defaces canvases in my spare time. My goddess is a patron of art, so painting is part of my prayer, and I put all my heart into my pieces.
Fair enough.
But I am a cleric above all else, so I must also tend to others. I went to war because here's where I'm most needed. Sure, I could be painting idyllic landscapes and offering empty prayers to my goddess, but that won't stop people from dying. My goddess has no tolerance for false piety.
You want to discuss something with me, right?
Yes, I have a personal request. Before we undertake our journey and leave Canabras behind, I would like to visit Martyr Zacharias' cemetery for a funeral. It's not far from here, and it's important. I would like to pay my respects to my friends from the Temple of Shaylin who died defending the city. Also, if it's not too much trouble, I would like you to come with me to honor their memory. Their friends and family will be at the funeral, and perhaps the commander's personal presence will bring them comfort. I know that you are burdened by many cares right now, so I understand if you can't find the time. But if you could, I would be sincerely grateful.
Nice to meet you. Gotta go.
You must be rather busy indeed. Leading a crusade all by yourself is no joke. I still believe that you are up to the task. This war has been raging for 100 years, but you've given us a chance at victory.
Really? Commander, let me personally congratulate you on the new title. Thank you for your time in advance. I am Latour Huckley, Inquisitor of Church Amadeus, bringer of light. Require your assistance in certain delicate matters involving one companion, your young Count Darren Arende. What brings you here? I ask you to assist the Church Amadeus in the investigation of the utmost importance. I understand that the leader of the crusade has plenty of other matters to attend to. Please allow me to tell you in detail, perhaps it will explain why I'm calling upon you. I suppose that you've already heard how about Count Arende's story. I refer to the tragedy at Heaven's Edge Estate. Tell me what happened. About 10 years ago, several powerful demons managed to penetrate the Warstone barrier and commit mass murder and all the guests who attended the feast, a celebration of young Darren's birthday. The unknown magical disease they had brought without the whole estate less than a day. That was not a new case in itself. The demons had attempted such raids on the Debian lands before, but they have never dared to utter such a well-protected place. The Arende family was exceptionally rich. The estate was protected by elite bodyguards. There were several strong and righteous paladins among the guests. Moreover, the revered Nestrin, Darren's true as one of the most powerful priests of Amade in the vicinity. All of them died nonetheless, except for the young Count, who had suddenly manifested his outstanding sacred healing abilities. Was that a divine miracle or a curse? That remains to be seen. You're going to investigate this old case again, aren't you? Yes, I am. I have several reasons to doubt the widely shared account of what exactly happened at the estate and how it happened. You see, Commander, I was among those sent to examine the estate after the incident. I saw everything with my own eyes, and I still remember clearly, even though it feels like it happened a lifetime ago. Heaven's Edge was a unique place that still carried the spirit of the old Mendev before the world boom. Yet on that day, it turned into a labyrinthine house of horrors, like somebody always seen in our nightmares. Apologies for the digression. I wanted to tell you about my suspicions. Everything about the incident seemed odd. Why was the only person left alive a young boy with newfound talent for divine magic? Why did nobody send to Canabras for help, even though the agony spanned many hours? Found the demons dead with their heads cut off when we got into the state. How were they defeated? How did disease kill even the paladins in the state who were said to be immune to any disease? These are actually valid points. If the demon had found a way to penetrate his holy word's defenses, why has this never been repeated since the tragedy at Heaven's Edge? You're the only person helping here, Commander, because the only living witness of those events is currently serving your army. Your army's route will take you near the very side of the tragedy. Heaven's Edge has been abandoned, sealed with potent magic throughout all these years, and only the Count has power to break the seal. He's unlikely to bite Inquisitor inside, and in any case you won't like me sniff around his family's seat. But if you as commander express your wish to visit the state, he will be obliged to fulfill, and I will simply follow you as one of your attendants. There are 100 ways, 1,000 ways, and myriad loopholes in human lives that forces to be able to use to your advantage. I'm not sure which one of those led to the demons that gets to Heaven's Edge, but I do know it wasn't a simple raid. The kind Crusaders face every day. That incident involved a significantly more powerful incident, and that's why I'm asking for your help. I cannot be sure that such a tragedy will not happen again until I come true truth. You've already been to the state several times. What do you expect to find now? I was young and experienced with when I first visited Heaven Edge 10 years ago. My skills improved significantly since then. I had paid dearly for that. My arsenal included many spells and techniques dedicated to gathering information about people and events. Almost all of them required me to be physically present in the place where the event in question happened. That is why I must return to Heaven's Edge. Why can't you just search your estate yourself without involving me? The estate is banned and sealed with powerful containment and enchantments only the Count himself can lift. That is not the main reason, however. The main reason that Count Arende is not officially under investigation by the Inquisition, so I couldn't just break into his house if I wanted to bypass the spells. This is a serious matter, a matter that threatens the reputation of the entire Church of Amade and my organization in particular. We made more than enough unforgivable mistakes during the Third Crusade and still dealing with the consequences. Your presence will give my investigation necessary legitimacy, Commander Hat, but there's more. In addition to getting official permission, it's also like to bring an independent third-party investigation to the case. Someone independent will well represent it, and you fit this role perfectly. Did you question Darren himself? I did, but the Count insisted he couldn't remember anything about it, and this is due to severe shock. He saw the demons at the very beginning when they appeared at the celebration announced the onset of the plague among the victims. He also witnessed the death of his mother, Countess Selena. That was all he would tell me. We had found the young Count sleeping like a log in the floor in one of the rear chambers, having drunk half the family wine cellar by himself. There was no reason to disbelieve him on that matter. So you suspect that Darren's hiding something that he's to blame for the tragedy? I deliberately refused to entertain any theories of suspicion so that it doesn't affect the investigation. There's a saying among my colleagues that suspicion is the mother of prejudice, and prejudice is married to failure. I can only tell you that Count Arende wasn't suffering from demonic possession. The most common malaise in our country at the time. Prelate Holgren himself examined the body right after the tragedy, and he didn't see anything arrive with him. Fine, I will help you. What do you need me to do? Thank you, Commander. Now I ask to speak to the Count, tell him that you wish to see his son. Please to not inform him of the presence right away. I will join your escort when it's time to travel to the estate. When we get there, I'll just require your help during the investigation. You'll have to follow me. I'll observe my actions as the independent witness. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. Remain for a while. Tell me more about myself, of course. I want to know who I'm dealing with. I'm orphan by birth, but I have lived in debt for most of my life. I'm dedicating myself to the service of the inheritor. My warrior brother mostly worshipped Goron, but I've never been eager to fight for the sake of battle alone. I was a good fighter in my early youth, and could easily best most of my peers. But I didn't enjoy showing off my skill. Victory is bland on its own, perhaps as flavor to war. I can't say that I've always been a faithful sword MD. Back in my mercenary days, fate brought me to the Boarsman Dev, where I spent quite a long time on the Crusaders, fighting shoulder to shoulder with my righteous comrades in arms, and watching demons commit their atrocities eventually led me into something I've been seeking my whole life, purpose and faith. That's how I find my calling, even though it may be hard many times, and no regrets my session. I like to discuss your investigation of the events of the Heaven's Edge again. No more. I have to go. He might not like that, but he's got some valid points I'm kind of curious about.
Keep your calm.
Where is he? Like Commander, how can I help? There's much I can do. Just ask. You've probably heard about the wound I have, the one that sometimes opens my chest. Can you perhaps tell me what is some kind of demonic curse? Yes, indeed. I've been told of your affliction. Can you will the wound open? No, it's a shame. Tell me about your wound. Well, it's difficult to say. I know blades leave never healing cuts or poisons that stops wounds from healing. I've heard of witches' curses that remind them of eternal wounds, but wounds that seem to reopen and heal over and over. Perhaps you know other cases like this. Let me think. 4671, Mandemian armor, Corporal had his bones and Carter's torn to glass. 47 scribe Canaris had her skin simply come away like she's been boiled in. 4638. Oh, you don't happen to have an insect crawling over you. Locusts, no rats, perhaps? Too bad. Do you think it's dangerous? It's most likely it is dangerous, but you're under protection of Emade, Commander. She granted you mythic powers, they say, sure the inheritor would not leave you to face this alone. Have you perhaps noticed the one opens at moments when you live in faith? Perhaps it is triggered by doubt. Thank you for the answers. I'm sorry, I didn't tell you anything useful. I shall be studying this matter and consult a few minor encyclopedias. Tell me about yourself. Oh my, I could tell you so many amazing things. You choose the most boring one of all. But alright, about myself then. Where are you from? Isgard, a small piece of land that proudly calls itself a country, though it hasn't been independent for a single day in all the centuries it existed. They have a lot of national pride, but it's all that's barred. Always looking to the great day when we can at last be free from the rule of Chilax. Chilax is a devil state, that's what it is. A theocracy, if you would call it. This Gary loves talking politics. If two of them start bargaining over beasts at the market, you can be sure they'll end up arguing about whether an independent Isgard will be a monarchy or a republic. I always found it funny to listen to and a little disgusting. You see, there are a lot of us happening in this country, but very few are citizens, most are slaves. I was lucky. I've always been clever ever since I was little, so they sent me to school instead of making me do the grunt work. They taught me to count and write, and I sold as a secretary to Lord Auxiliary Tresbot. He's the one I felt as I left Edgar with, never to return, I hope. How did you come to serve Queen Valkyrie? I was a slave lord. Of one man he was. He towered over his fellows like a rock or a garbage heap, a true hero. He brought me as a simple secretary, but he made me learn the history of the world from all of it, one volume after another. He hired tutors for me, even sent me to the most prominent historians. He didn't want a simple slave, but a slave with an impeccable education. Lord Tresbot was going to crusade. He firmly believed that the servants of the gods were weak, and only Father Asmodeus could stand against the demons' invasion. He took me as a secretary historian, and most importantly, he entrusted me with recording this glorious story for future generations. In his crusade, Lord Tresbot performed many brave feats, but even he could not stand against World War alone. In spite of battle with the demons, when my lord realized he was doomed, his final act was to recover my retreat so that I could tell the world of his great deeds. Some people have said that he was not hurt, but an arrogant moron, putting himself up one last time, but I say curse their tongues. My difficult journey in Mendev, where I found my freedom. There I published Lord Tresbot's biography, and I didn't want to boast, but Who am I kidding? Of course I do. The book sold a great numbers and made me rather famous for a time. That's what brought me to Queen's attention. She invited me to her court. After all, she was curious about my deceased lord, and she was in great need of an expert on the history of the world. I hope you find me useful. So you're not just a historian, but a writer too? Will you write a book about my crusade? Aha, why not? As soon as we finish off the demons, I'll get right to it. Just take care that they don't end up like Lord Tresbot. Do you worship any deity? When I was a slave in Ezra, they would beat me with a stick to force me to believe in the Asmodeus. They hit me and said it was for my own good. Ever since then, I don't like temples. I realize there are different gods like Destiny or Arcadon who teach goodness and freedom, but it's just as soon as I smell frankincense, I see the slave driver's stick. Maybe one day I'll be able to turn to a deity without cringing from a blow for not being reverent enough. But for now, I'll let others pray for me. Thank you for your answers. Tell me the history of the world one. Could I ask about the hours? What exactly you want to know? To met Ulster chorus. It was an unforgiving country inhabited by numerous tribes, Celtic barbarians, and imagined Numeria, but without metal mountains or the realm of Mamthors, but with a milder climate. That's the chorus. The country was ruled by priests or forgotten deities and shamans. It's said that even back then, before the world, when the boundary between worlds was fished within this region since ancient times, Skari has had his claws sunk deep into the minds of the locals. His cults thrived here for many years. Everything tried to stamp him out, but in the end, of course, he passed away. How did the world come to be? It happened the year everything died, 4606, a little over a century ago. No one knows if the time was coincidental or if some connection to everything's death, but I'll tell you what we do know. The priest shamans who ruled Socorus hated arcane magic, and all who practiced it. Wizards and sorcerers were driven out from the land of wars, one of their prisons. The witch named Arlu Warlish. Really? We know nothing about her besides her name, of course. The atrocity each committed. By selling them the message, she managed to harness the terror power of the demon lord Skari. Together they tore open the barrier between the worlds, opening a direct to the abyss in the very middle of Socorus. The world was slowly but mercilessly expanded, devouring more and more land. In a matter of years, Socorus was a mercenary. It was a merry. Sometimes thinking what they did do in Arlu in that prison, just managed to ready to give herself to the abyss. If only the demons might devour a torch along with her. To imagine such hatred, it terrifies me. First Crusade. Again, 4622, yes, it took the church and the secular authorities nearly 2 decades and hundreds of thousands of lives before they decided to take action. In the meantime, so the chorus was only supported by a handful of volunteers. By the time the Crusades began, the demons had already invaded Mendip. The Crusaders pushed them back in what must have been a terrible triumph at the time. The forces could easily crushing demons on all fronts. They erected Dresden on the lands they conquered in an indestructible fortress. The Catholic Crusader movement in 4630, 8 years again, the First Crusade was declared victorious. The second. 4638, the World I suddenly started expanding, a new wave of demons appeared. The Crusaders were all but delighted. Last time they routed the forces in the abyss, and they were welcomed by another chance to prove themselves, but this time everything was different. Instead of scattered gangs, they faced a large organized army. Dresden was besieged. The Crusaders lost all the lands they'd won back before. They had to retreat, and all that remained of the Crusaders was left to the demons. But while the monsters were devouring the lands, Crusaders erected a chain of war stones along the border with Warmoon. We have Amadei and her herald to thank for their help. It was the Second Crusade's only victory, but it halted the wound's growth. The catastrophe had become a stalemate, at the cost of tremendous surplus. Third, after 50 years after the opening world, when Skari found an ally, Baphomet entered the war. A cunning and insidious demon lord prefers deception to open conquest. He sets his enemies against each other and lures the virtuous onto the path of wickedness. Traitors appeared among the Crusaders, secret agents to his cult. For time, no one suspected a thing, even as they watched helplessly as the Crusader movement fell to ruin. Where one valor proudly stood, now greed and dumb cruelty reigned. An outrage was drowned in apathy. In 4665, the church announced a new crusade hoping to boost morale. They didn't succeed, put it mildly. Some fought the demons in earnest, and for a time they dared to retake the Dresden, but the Third Crusade was to be remembered as a witch hunt. And ever since, Inquisitors hoped to purge occultists from the ranks of fighters, but instead they got a barrage of denunciations, widespread suspicion, and innocent victims. It sometimes happened that two orders would denounce each other's traitors and wipe each other out, much to the demons' delight. Just 3 years later, in 4668, the church put the disgrace to an end. Of all the crusades, that one was the least glorious. Fourth Crusade. Of course, the demons had intention of sitting quietly caged behind the war stone to keep attacking Canabras. Trying to reach the stone and destroy it, or just scratch its surface, or even that was impossible. Befoul it. The Crusaders drove the demons away from the city again and again. The Fourth Crusade was lasted for 15 years in exhausting study and positional warfare. The demons attacked and were pushed back. The Crusaders went on the offensive or forced to retreat. And all the while, the losses were tremendous. The Fourth Crusade's only achievement was that they didn't let a single war stone fall. They'd retake a sliver of land to say nothing of Dresden. So many lives just lost just to maintain the stomach. You can imagine how that affects morale. I have to go. If you have questions, come back. Alright, I will. Now I gotta find this Hiller guy. He's trying to cut. Where's he at?
There are many roads to success.
You're in the title commander. Canabras still stands thanks to you, but you still have to be doubly on your guard. Your eminence places a target in your back, and there are assassins about. Killing high-ranking crusader would bring a demon far more prestige than killing common soldiers. All long ago, I dominated a few of the Spinner Nightmare's attempts on the list of eventual crusaders. So now I know what I'm talking about. Tell me about your competition with Spinner Nightmares. It's a long story, Tenor, so it would take 2 days. Which part do you want to know? We'll talk about it later. Which influence or crazers did you save from the Spinner Nightmares? I've been hunting Spinner Nightmares for a year. My agents by that time created a proper network. Report to me that she returned the Rosen. I immediately suspected she was planning a great atrocity. By the time I learned all too immediately suspected that she was planning. Okay. By that time, I learned all too well that Spinner was a master of illusion and charms. That's why I never left the house without this. This is the Eye of Truth. Allows me to see through illusion. A friend got it from me from the priest of Nethys. However, their monocle nor my network of agents were adequate to prevent attacks, and were nearly too late. The Spinner Nightmares decided to strike the cruciform cathedral. They had gathered to celebrate the victory of the First Crusade. It was a great holiday, and there was a lavish ceremony at the cathedral. An influential priest, Anthropolis, was in charge of festivities. They were intending to crown him with a tiara, a symbol of his high status, but the sacred tiara had been replaced. The spinner had attained an Anxilus, a sentient and rather ominous cephalad from the other end of the world. She raised it from the elbow and trained it carefully. She cast illusion on it so that everyone would see it as a tiara. The moment its shell was placed on Anthropolis' head, the cephalad would release its tentacles to betray the priest's skull. Its poison was seeping from his brain and would seize control over his dead body. Unfortunately, we were able to stop the madness in time. I spotted the Spinner of Nightmares in the crowd, chased her down, and we ended up crossing swords and ripped the cathedral. I nearly defeated her, but she fled again upon a giant stallion, which was able to run across the air as she was rolling around. Nightmare, Griffin, Hippogriff, Pegasus. I was close to catching her, so she suffered a setback, but I let her escape. You know anything about a pathfinder named Finian Dismar? Let me think. Dismar. I've definitely heard the name before. Of course you have. I'm a pathfinder too, so you're just a cheap and lands. Now what about Lady Arya? When I left the room, she had just taken position. I'm afraid Arya perished during the Third Crusade. Yes, now I remember Benedict, sir. I went missing in the wound of the Second Crusade. His name had been on the list fallen for a while. Here I am, alive and well, right in your list, and I'm back. As soon as I'll file a detailed report about everything that happened to me. I knew what was misunderstanding, but now everything will return to normal. I will need to write to my folks. They probably think I'm in too. Poor lads, such is the fate of the Pathfinder. We face the unknown, but sometimes the unknown wins, and our minds cannot take it. Good luck, watch your back. Only trust your close friend. Enemies cunning and treacherous. Now where's the storyteller?
I will guide. Focus on the goal. Watch out for trouble. Keep your calm.
I would like to really be able to retrain some of my guys, man. I'm not liking that horse thing at all.
I sense something. There are many roads to success.
Where is he? Doggone, man. Wait. Where's that?
I will guide.
Where is? Eh? Where is he?
Focus on the goal.
Where? There you are. I've been waiting. As you see, I've joined the crusade, but I don't know how to pursue the sword, but war is costly and I have money. Besides, my intellect business sense may prove useful even on the battlefield. Besides, I believe I owe you apologies. The way I behaved was rude, ill-mannered. You're an honest and honorable person. You have clawed your way up from the bottom of society to the title of commander, not commander. You are friends for King God for yourself. Such persistence deserves respect. Please don't let me give these magic amulet from my humble personal treasure to mark your future cooperation. Our future cooperation. Tell me the story, Hoggers, again. What's it like to live your entire life under someone else's name? When I was a boy, I used to hate Horgus. The condescension messed of awe, pity on his face. His smiles when he called me to join in his games. The difference in our birthright wasn't fair. Even clouded my mind. The demons killed him, not me, and I thought it was my gift of fate. I seized my good fortune with both hands and never let go. When I was told my name, it was Horgus Worm, no heir to the vast fortune of the Worm family. On that day, life was fair. Unfortunately, it took me many years to see the generosity behind the condescension and feel compassion behind the pity. I discovered far too late that Horgus was my friend, even when I didn't feel like myself his. I never accepted the hand of friendship he offered until it's too late. But now, what can I do? Reveal the truth, reject the name, allow it to sink in oblivion? Would my friend Horgus want this? I bear the name Horgus Grim with the pride and dignity it deserves. As a banner on a battlefield, I will multiply its merits. The Grim family will not be forgotten. I will stir, of course. Aren't you afraid I'll reveal your secret, everyone? Are you threatening me? I've invested a lot of money in Crusade. I will invest more, and yet you think to humiliate me in front of everyone? That's not going to work. If scandal breaks out, it will be your word against mine, and I've been known as Horton Grim for several decades. I own a vast estate outside Canaveras and share with the local quarry. I will defend my good name to the end. Your claims seem like vile slander. I'll see to that. However, I do not hope it will come to any of that. We're all here for common cause, destroy the demons, so I intend to see this business through. Why have you decided to support Crusades now? All Crusades do, with all due respect, that's none of your business. I have my reasons. Perhaps I felt Russian patriotism that Canaveras was destroyed. Anyway, why would I think I've never supported Crusaders? Perhaps I simply don't like to brag about my donations. Ostentatious charity only attracts beggars. I wager that Arabeth has no idea whose money she's spending on drinks and supplies. Why did you hide the fact Camilla is your daughter? Did I tell you this mansion? It's because her mother, Iris, was a lowly half-elf who looked away after my gardens. Well, I always wanted to join the Grum name with another family. The Grum legacy must not be mixed with common blood and vanished into obscurity. Iris didn't mind and managed to hide a relationship. When Camellia was born, it did not claim her as my own. And before you start telling me what a terrible father I am, I want to tell you something. A daughter won from nothing. Our limbs were filled as quickly as they arose. I heard the best teachers and bought her the best books. She always ate well and warm clothes. Isn't that what parents do? Her mother died. I'm not going to tell you about that. Some things ought to remain private. What can you tell me about Count Darren and Runday? Nobles could never should be acquainted with each other, shouldn't they? He's a brilliant young man who has a brilliant pedigree. And that story of his, the nobility, is the glue that keeps our society together. I suppose that is why demons so often choose their state as primary targets. Who would knows the demons' bloody massacres if they only slaughter poor country folk? The Runday family shared the tragic plight of the Gorms, along with many other families in the nobility. They fell victim to a treacherous attack during a major celebration taking place at their family estate. I haven't received an invitation, was slightly insulted by the snub, but it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. The gods saved me from a terrible fate. All the guests died that day from a magical demonic disease. I sympathize with the Count deeply. He has endured so much, and it's no wonder he keeps himself alive from me. I think this is due to the fact that Horace Worm's fate so resembles his own, and we both have to relive those horrible memories whenever we see each other. Walter Grimm's camp quartermaster service. How may I help you? I saw you talking to that girl, hiding her face. Who was she and what she want? I don't know, Commander. She never introduced herself, but I bet she's not part of the army. I know all of her soldiers by name and sight. She was looking for some elf volunteer. Wanted to know which tent he was sleeping in. At first I thought she was a messenger from India. She definitely wasn't one of us. Now I see how it all looks mighty shifty. She was some sort of spy then. Tell me about yourself. Well, there's much to tell, really. I was born in Canaveras and home with family. Got an education, taught myself to read and write. Got drafted in the army, spent 3 years as shield bearer in the first line. I left after I did my time and joined the Stonemasons Guild, then moved on to the shipwrights and rose to a crew chief. Sailed to Iberia twice and returned with goods. This money, built up a house. I haven't started a family yet. I think well after we are doing this war. But it appears to go something that started knocking me. I got this feeling like I need to go home. There's some storm headed from my native city, and when there's trouble in the dead, there's only one thing to do. You go to the recruiter, sign up for an army. And so I did. At first they wanted to make me an infantry sergeant, but then they decided I'd be a better fit for the supply department. I can take care of my army property. And I'm pretty handy around a warehouse, and I know how to manage a band of helpers, and that's how I became quartermaster. What do you do? What are your duties in camp? And a little bit of everything. What's an officer to a soldier? A strict father? So what does this make a quartermaster like myself? Something like the mom, that's what. I made sure the lads have everything they need to defeat the enemy and come back from battle in one piece. That means food, firewood, medicine, tents, minute clothes, fixed weapons. The horses have to get fed and water. The camp's got to be fortified by evening and broken up in the morning. I make sure the wages are paid on time and the wagon wheels don't squeak. And then there were, of course, gods. Until you asked, I never had really so many duties I actually had. So what do the soldiers think of your commander? They mostly tell tales about your unusual power, but they don't shy away from talking about you as a person too. Soldiers are always like that. If Amadea herself descended from heaven, you bet they jabber on about how she grips the sword and how good she looks in armor. The soldiers believe that God spared you, and it wasn't a coincidence you gained your power in the great garrison. Who else could something like that happen to except God's favors? Show me what you got. What the hell? Who wants to backbeat from that, man? That's stupid. God, I don't know about that, brother. I really don't know. That is not good. Oh, wow, that thing is incredible. Why is it red? Book of Nature. Anima type plain male. Boy, I'll be back. I gotta be thinking about this. I've made up my mind. I'm definitely buying that stuff. I like the combination. Mainly because, man, it'll keep me in the middle of the fight when I'm needed, where I'm going to need, where I'm going to be needed for healing. So now what I have to do, I have to go back to my tent. Is it the field medic? So it's right here then. I'll get rid of these weapons here that I got here to get that anima type. What is that? Oh. Uh-oh. I might not be able to get it. Uh-oh. Armor. That's right here. Damn, that's mighty close. How much is that? Wow. That's not any good because of the fact you get a certain now. Lands of Killing Blow? No. I'll sell it. That'll give me that. You would supply, your supply would do any wine shop proud. Does the Crusade really need this alcohol? Don't think I'm trying to encourage drunkenness among Crusaders. It's all in good fun, but a way to blow off some steam. When soldiers came gather by the fire and raise a cup to honor both the living and the dead, it reminds them that life goes on. But those who drink to excess or to detriment of their duties won't get a drop from me. There is no sight more depressing than a drunkard. Okay. Okay, fine. So what I'm gonna do then is, so hold on, 27. To 32, you better believe it. Now, what does she have? 10. And he has so I'm worth that. Thank you. All right. We'll head out in the next one.